Good morning, everyone. This morning I want to pick up on something that we spoke about on Monday. Again, we're looking at St. Paul's letter to the Ephesians today, but moving on to chapter 6 today, verses 1 to 9. And in it, he says, "Children, be obedient to your parents in the Lord. That is your duty." Some people want to say, well, stop right there. Okay, that's your duty. You behave. The Lord said you must be obedient. I think that is unfortunate if you are in a situation where you are trying to command your kids to be obedient to you. Having said that, he goes on to say, never drive your children to resentment. There's the balancing act. You want to be able to get your kids to a situation where they understand why it is that they are being disciplined, and they understand that it's necessary to be disciplined. So therefore, they would be obedient because they understand the consequences if they're not. Not just in terms of punishment or anything like that, but in terms of the reason for the parents saying that. Sort of say to the kid, don't go right in the street. It's not because you don't want them to enjoy themselves, it's because they are likely to get knocked over by something. They don't need to understand that. See, I think as we've gone through in society, there's a word that people don't like to acknowledge too much, and it's a word called accountability. And I think it is, if we talk about that in terms of political circles, people understand that a lot. People need to be accountable for the decisions they make. And we find with corruption and so forth, there's horrible moral decay because people just don't recognize accountability. And yet we're accountable to the Lord. And so that instruction says, children, be obedient to your parents in the Lord, not just obedient to your parents full stop. Now understand what is the Lord wants for us, and therefore understand our responsibility as parents to ensure that our kids are raised properly. If we don't do that, we result in a situation called religious indifference. People just don't care. There's no accountability. I mean, it doesn't matter if I don't go to church. It doesn't matter if I do things that are wrong. It doesn't matter if I live that way. God's going to forgive me anyway, so it's fine. Or who's God anyway? Sadly. So in terms of that, we need to sort of tighten up a little bit in terms of discipline. Having said that, I think it's very important that as parents, we need to understand there's a major distinction between punishment and discipline. Discipline is very important, but the punishment and the way that it's handled, that is a very distinct factor. So we can discipline people in love, but just because people are scared, they don't want to be seen to be authoritarian or punishing their kids, that the discipline goes out the window as well. So wise words this morning, and let's follow the word of the Lord. You have a wonderful day, and we'll see you again. God bless. Bye-bye.